Take that, haters. You said it was a flop. It's the #1 movie on Disney Plus. Oh yeah, just like every other piece of fucking shit that lost money. What's it looking at this weekend as? I saw you talking about the box office.
It's like, to say cratered is a compliment. It's died. It's currently bringing in $239 per theater on average. Oof. And it's probably going to lose a shit ton of theaters this weekend to Wicked. It's already had 2 days, Monday and Wednesday. Thursday's not even in. It's going to be a horrendous Thursday. Sub 1 million. It's done. It's going to have another massive drop off in week 2.
It's almost like we were right the whole time. That's strange how that works.
Yeah. I mean, look at that Monday. A 75% drop off from the previous Monday. I was like, oh my God.
60.
This is horrendous. Yeah, 76% drop off from the previous Tuesday. Oof. 61% from the previous Wednesday. And it was Wednesday of last week that it started to crater. So it's like, this is off for a huge
I guess the women are not coming out like they expected.
But guys, I was told this is the best Predator film since the original one. What happened?
Oh, biggest domestic ever.
I can't wait for them to say it was profitable, because they will say, oh, well, Disney paid itself to put it on its own streaming service, and therefore it made money. I can't wait for that.
And all the write-offs, of course.
I'm waiting for the merch is going to save it.
The merch is going to save it. The digital sales. You guys don't understand how this stuff works, everyone. You don't understand. It's the digital age. But speaking of not understanding, Chrissy, what's up?
Oh my God, I'm so happy to be acknowledged. I'm just happy to be here.
And doing all the heavy lifting today, because I know it normally takes about 8 fucking people to run this stream, but today it's just one. It's Quarter Black Garrett. What's up, Quarter Black?
What's
Get
up?
the claps. Get some clapped in them. Yay!
It takes the village to run Gary. So it's him not being here. It's a lot of weight taken off the shoulders. So I'm glad. I hope everybody in Egypt has fun. And, I'm not jealous at all. But I can't wait to talk about fucking Leslye Headland popping her ugly ass head up one more time. Just to call us racist and fascist.
The greatest thing QB's ever done in his life. Too ugly to be assaulted. It's the greatest thing. Leslye Headland, too ugly to be assaulted. Like, that is about the worst thing you can say to a woman. That is fucking bad, dude.
And speaking of ugly ass bitches, that's a good segue to our first topic, which is Leslye fucking Headland. Lesbian, former Harvey Weinstein personal assistant, creator of the Acolyte, who cast her own stupid gay wife in the show, was one of the biggest fucking disasters we've ever seen in the history of Disney Star Wars, which is saying something.
Wow.
Finally decided to speak out. And of course, here's the headline. Leslye Headland calls YouTube critics fascists and racists while addressing the Acolyte cancellation.
Right on cue. Right on cue.
This gives me hope that she's actually seen one or some of our reviews, because that would be hilarious.
Shad, you don't have to call somebody, you don't have to know about somebody to call them fascist or racist. You just do it.
Yeah.
In the full article, it does say a kerfuffle as she saw online creators, many of whom she'd followed for years before making her own Star Wars show.
Fucking doubt. Say about the Acolyte. Oh, come on.
She gets into that stuff. She gets into content creators. She actually makes some statements throughout this that are like, I think that the content being created about Star Wars is more culturally relevant than Star Wars is going to be, which is an interesting statement. I think that's a lot of, there's a lot of deflection in this entire article. The thing of trying to take accountability, but really pushing it off to the side anyway. And I think that's part of it, because she views this as, we did something so fucking risky. We took chances. We did something different and no one appreciated it type of thing. No. So the idea that content creators are more culturally relevant than Disney Star Wars is, it's true, but I think she thinks it's because they're not trying new and different things and gay, lesbian, scissoring and shit like that.
More
That's why
scissoring.
I can tell you one thing, as a content creator, Star Wars certainly ain't as relevant as it was 5 years ago, because damn, people just don't care about Star Wars anymore. But the online perspective of Star Wars, I agree, in the last 5 years has been more relevant than Star Wars.
The amount of people that I see that aren't political people talking or culturally pushing against all of this woke shit, like just normal content creators that'll like throw jabs at Disney or throw jabs at Star Wars not being relevant or not being good anymore, has risen so much. Because it used to be, like you said, 5 years ago, it was like you would get called a racist, bigot, homophobe if you said any Star Wars was bad. Just ridiculous. Star Wars is the best thing ever, and it's never been bigger right now, and Disney's killing it, and you're ridiculous. You're a minority. That is not the case. That is
How
not
many
the
of those
case
are actually
anymore.
bots, though? You know that.
I think people actually thought that. I think they were so in their feels about it, because I understand, like, you love Star Wars. I want to love Star Wars, but it wasn't where it should be. But a lot of people just kind of put blinders on and just wanted Star Wars to be good. And
I
when
definitely think that there are
love you
definitely
back.
people that were like that, but I think a lot of that traffic was probably generated by bots, because a lot of that seems to have died down, with the exception, I would say, of Predator Badlands, where, you know, like a day later, I got a lot of negative reactions to my not liking the movie, but it quickly went away.
Yeah, because that was absolutely. It's the same with Superman, and it's the same here with Badlands. This is manufactured hype, and manufactured hype converts into nothing.
Yes,
absolutely nothing.
The box office for Predator Badlands died Wednesday of last week. That's when it took a huge dip. That Wednesday shouldn't have been anywhere close to what it was. And since that day, every preceding day has been horrendous. No matter what, I've had people on social media when I've said something derogatory about it, because it's shit, by the way. It's shit that's made for girls. And I've had people, and it's the same old concern troll bollocks. It's I normally agree with everything you say, or I agree with virtually everything you say, but I cannot believe that it's an amazing film. It's fantastic. But like, I have never ever seen your fucking name ever, you know, in any capacity. You suddenly just popped up. Oh, by the way, you're not even following me on social media, and yet somehow, you know, you agree with everything. Just little things like that. And it's just utter bollocks. It's gaslighting. There is these campaigns, and they are bot driven, and they're bot driven to the retards that then go, yeah, that's my fucking opinion. And then they go, yeah, it's great. It's cute. Cutest film of the year. Predator.
Yeah.
God damn.
Should not be in the same sentence.
And fuck off. You're done.
You can feel the difference. You can feel the difference between a movie that actually has like a cultural impact, like Barbie. It wasn't for everybody. It was for women. They really enjoyed it. You could tell that they actually enjoyed it. It had legs, right?
It was our Fast and the Furious.
Right. The Wicked, same thing. Same
exactly.
thing for Wicked.
Yes. We're going to talk about it fucking later. You can make movies for women. They just have to be female-based properties. They have to have that pre-existing fan base. What you can't do is take these male-dominated properties and try to feminize them and expect the men to stick around for longer than, you know, a movie or two until they realize what the fuck is going on. And we've seen it with Star Wars. And now you got this ugly bitch on the inside and out, Leslye Headland, who tried to do exactly that. And you know what? If this show had come out right after, say, Mandalorian season 1, maybe it would have had more people watching, and then this would have been one of the things that led to people getting so turned off. But no, instead, it comes out at a time where Star Wars was already dead, and it just felt like another nail in the coffin.
This paragraph reads like such a cope. It's like she's trying to say, well, these weren't all my ideas. This was some other deep lore that just was never explored.
No, yeah, it's typical female right there, to no offense, Christy, but typical woman to blame it on the man. You know, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy's the one that went overboard to want to bring her on and was so excited to bring her on. But that's what, you know, that's what we've come to expect from Disney Star Wars. And so I haven't read this article. I've only heard, you know, this part right here. So is this the main part of it, Ryan, or is there more to this?
Oh, there's a lot of it. We're going to get to this.
Okay.
Look, this entire article was with the Wrap. It was about Leslye Headland forging ahead on diverse storytelling and blah, 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 all of this stuff. But also what happened with the Acolyte.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Am I right or am I right?
What are we doing? All right, hang on. Let me show you. Scroll back up. We're
Why?
leaving it.
Why?
We're leaving it in there until we get a $50 super chat.
Jeremy's the run of the show.
Grifter's gonna grift.
I'm not ready for fucking stupid.
He has to take it down.
Az is the one that's gonna send.
I have it on both screens now. Why'd I do this?
If you say wood in the chat, we are banning you as well. I saw someone say it. Don't do that. We're not allowed to do that. Okay, so impossible. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
There,
Thank
okay,
you,
please
Frank.
get that.
Oh,
Thank you, God.
Frank, let's go.
Wow,
Oh,
thank you, Master
It's a
Austin.
hero.
look at there. See, listen,
Heroes.
Leslye Headland.
There we go.
Not only are you too ugly
Thank
to
you,
be
Nerf.
assaulted, you are too ugly to even have on screen. All right, you are an ugly bitch. Established. Hello, Twitter. Thank you for the 50s in the chat.
So first she goes about how like, setting the bar fucking low, right? Headland explains that making the Acolyte was always a major risk. It was a new part of the timeline. It was all new characters. It was a part of the lore that you couldn't use a stormtrooper. Didn't have the reference of the politics and war that Tony Gilroy has brilliantly exploited in such a genius way in Andor. But all that iconography and all those visual references are original trilogy references. Our references were the High Republic novels and the publishing initiative, and then the prequel, specifically with the lightsabers. You know, if I was to choose one piece of iconography that screams fucking Star Wars more than anything else, more than a stormtrooper helmet, more than the Darth Vader, like whatever, it's a fucking lightsaber. You're telling me that the idea that you couldn't have Mon Mothma, all we had was lightsabers, but there's not a single fucking Jedi in all of Andor, right? But you get lightsabers in yours. I feel like you could make that work somehow. And it's pretty disrespectful to the prequels as well.
If you want to mirror what the original trilogy was and like the foundations of the story in a prequel, they can't do it because they entirely misunderstand what the original trilogy was. All she sees as it is basically things like lightsabers, the helmets, the very obvious visual symbols, not actually what the story is, which is why people liked it.
Correct.
And Star Wars can only reference Star Wars. I mean, Ki Adi-Mundi was in there for fuck's sake. He wasn't even alive. So she talks about High Republic age, and yet she sticks in a Jedi that shouldn't even exist at that point in time. And then, you know, we get Darth Plagueis fucking wanking himself off in a cave at the end.
The plans are coming together.
If I start throwing shit everywhere, will anything stick for a second? No, of course it fucking won't. Look, nobody has the right. You don't have the right for people just to like your shit because it's got the Star Wars fucking brand on it. You've got to earn it. And the whole point why we're just done, even us as content creators, just done talking about fucking Star Wars, is because there's no Star Wars anymore. You killed it. You've taken it and you've absolutely killed it to the degree that it doesn't make us interested. It doesn't make our audiences interested. And it doesn't bring people to a theater because there hasn't been a fucking film at the theater for 6 years now.
That's insane.
The next one probably isn't going to do much.
Annual franchise, remember, this was meant to be a film every year, Star Wars movie every year. Hasn't been one for 6 years. And what was one of the ideas they floated around that may or may not get made? Let's bring Rey back.
I still don't think that's going to happen. And by the way, with these actors, they don't need to know the lore. It's not even a big deal that they don't know anything about it. But when they stand up there and preach about the cultural impact that Star Wars needs to have with representation and bullshit, and then they show that they don't even know anything about it, that's where the problem is. All we want is for people to come into the franchise, try to have a little respect for it, and try to do a good job without bringing agenda-driven bullshit. That's it. Nobody needs to know everything about it. But when you start preaching and talking down to people, and then you prove you don't even know shit about the thing that you're trying to hijack, that's where the problem comes into play.
I think one thing you're going to see come out of this interview from a lot of the Acolyte fans are to be like, Leslye Headland's so respectful to people, but you have to listen to how she does it. For many, the risk didn't pay off. The Acolyte was met with mixed reviews from fans and critics. Quote, I also think that any gripes creatively with the show are completely valid, Headland remarked. That's people's reaction. And she goes on, it's usually their reaction to their own reaction. But like I said, the show is always a risk. It's the old adage, first one through the wall is the bloodiest. So she's saying, you know, people are free to have their feelings about it, but it's their reaction to their reaction. It's their reaction to their expectations type of thing, as opposed to it's their reaction to my dog shit content.
Yeah.
Also,
Like-
the implication is that she's like trailblazing, and
Yes.
that it's
She's not.
It's like, oh, it's gonna be remembered fondly in the future. It's like, are you kidding me?
She's
She
not
really
even
thinks highly
trailblazing
of
and shit.
herself.
I just found this really interesting. She almost was taking accountability, and then right at the end, nope. She just
Women
completely
working as
Why
intended.
would
Like
she
an
take
Indian truck
accountability?
driver, just right.
Oh.
And that's how this goes, right? So the next part is the one that's obviously making so many of the headlines. Headland addressed what her experience was like seeing the show be attacked by people in the media, including those in Star Wars media.
Mhm.
I was not online, Headland said. Okay, your dumb bitch wife was. However, I am a Star Wars fan.
Oh God.
I
Heavy
have
quotes.
always been since the launch of YouTube, part of the Star Wars recap / criticism / lionization fandom community. These guys I've known for years and years. So when I got the information from others about what the weather report was, there was this real concern from friends of mine or coworkers of mine that saddened me. I was also like, I know who these guys are. You don't have to tell me who's talking about it or how bad it is online. I know exactly who they are. I supported them on Patreon. Must have been you, Jeremy.
I want to know who. I really
Mike
want to know
Zero.
who.
Mike
My
Zero.
Star Wars theory.
I'm
Wait.
guessing Star Wars theory.
Yeah. I
Something
don't
to
know.
that effect.
I don't know. Like, I think she could be talking about anybody, even like the people that aren't shitting on it and stuff like that. Because here's the next part she
She's
says.
in all that fairness, she's probably lying.
Yeah.
There's that.
There are some of them that I respect. And there are some of them that I think are absolute snake oil salesmen, just opportunists. Then, of course, there are the fascists and racists.
Yeah.
There we go.
He watches us. Hell yeah.
What's the fascists and the racists? Okay.
Hell yeah. That makes me happy.
So it runs a gamut. It isn't just one thing or the other. So this is the other part here. You're saying, oh, people's reactions, their reactions, blah blah blah, and then you say, you know, there's some YouTubers that I respect that I think are being genuine.
Sure.
But a lot of other things out there too. A lot of these other people that are just grifting, that are snake oil salesmen, opportunists,
Racists.
and the fascists and the racists. How many people that watched The Acolyte and gave The Acolyte a review on YouTube do you think are actually considered fascists? Honestly, like the definition of the word, the way she's using it. I think it's just the way that it's used. If you vote for Trump, you're a fascist, right? That is the new hot buzzword. Even if it gets fucking people murdered, that's the new hot buzzword for all these fucking woke-tarded pieces of shit like Leslye Headland. Yeah. So racist is completely lost, right? It's done. People don't take that seriously. Fascist is going out of fashion as well. It's so ridiculous to label any significant number of Acolyte viewership as fascist. It's the most retarded thing imaginable.
Oh, and you know what her
It is.
standard is for the racist, right? It's anyone who hated Reaver in like Obi-Wan. Like
Yeah.
if you criticize Reaver, well, that you're a racist as well. So, we all hated Reaver. So I guess
Yeah, and that's thanks to Ewan. Well, a much large part to Ewan McGregor's video, where he basically said like anyone that's criticizing her is no Star Wars fan as far as he's concerned. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So they just continue to set these standards, and they don't actually like what were they basing that off of? Because a couple of random accounts sent her mean messages.
three.
He was
They
like,
showed
where's
like
Yeah.
three.
Yeah.
Three comments that one was just like about diversity hiring.
Yeah.
Where but no, that was horribly racist, and that was the evidence for this wave of crazy racist
Yeah,
criticism.
it's absolutely insane.
Those were the
but
best
also
ones they
nice
could
better.
find.
Oh.
Yeah, those are the best. Those are the examples.
But also, I don't really care about the moral condemnation of somebody that self-identifies as a Sith and wrote an entire series where turning evil at the end was considered the right thing to do and slaughter the guy that trained her. It was like everything about that show was basically praising evil, and now she's going, I can't believe all this scum don't like it.
Was self-admittedly a story about her and her father and her daddy issues. When he was dying, she came up with this like premise So like that's the kind of moral high ground we're on.
That's what she's doing. She's exploring her daddy issues
Yes.
through the
Yes.
show. Wow.
Yes.
fantastic.
It's also the most perfect example of I don't care about your booze. I've seen what makes you cheer. Like
Yeah.
that entire show was horrific.
Yeah.
Like, just
Yeah.
from a story perspective, like anything else.
Promoting and celebrating full-on evil. I still can't really wrap my head around how someone could produce that thing and think it's good because of how blatantly vile so much of that story was.
And this next section, I have the full quote. We didn't need the rap article for most of it, but I think it's important for this because it's way more revealing than just these couple quotes. So right after she talks about fascists and racists, she says this.
Right.
So I think that if you're in part of the fandom, you understand genre and tone of particular channels and creators. So in some ways, I wasn't surprised. Now, this is when she's talking about if it was weaponized or whatever, right? I wasn't surprised. And then in other ways, yes, I was disappointed. I think that you do, or you always do, when you have to create something. It's just that Star Wars is on a massive level of visibility. And this is interesting. This is where she starts getting to YouTubers and stuff like that. And I think this is a section where she is specifically blaming YouTubers for Lucasfilm canceling the show. The content that is being put out by the streamers or the studios is being snatched up by these other creators. And so commentary, synopsis, live videos, all of the ways that these creators make money through viewer-based ad revenue in their Patreons. There's a lot of money to be made. And by the way, have at it. Get your coin 100%. But it revealed to me that there's a misunderstanding between the studios and that engagement. They think of it as fandom, and in ways it is, but studios use it almost like a focus group. It made me start to think, rather than the fans are toxic or this thing being mean to me, it made me think about the content being made about Star Wars will ultimately be more culturally impactful than actual Star Wars. I believe we're headed to that space. The IPs will continue to make money, but I don't know how much they'll affect the next generation as much as the content that is being created around those.
She's
events.
not wrong.
Wow.
That last
No,
part,
she's not.
she is not wrong
She
at
knows
all.
tearing
Tearing herself down by
irrelevant.
saying that. She's saying she's making culturally irrelevant Star Wars. That
It is
Yes.
true though. Like the online space of covering Star Wars is more culturally relevant than actual Star Wars content. It doesn't mean that it's bigger. It doesn't mean more people or but in terms of the relevance culturally, the online space has more culture. It absolutely does. And that's crazy because Star Wars has been the culture historically. Star Wars has been the cultural cornerstone of Hollywood whenever it's been released. And now it's absolutely nothing. It's a watered down version of it. It's terrible. Go ahead, Disprove.
It seems like she's more saying that the YouTube stuff and the commentary will be listened to, and that will shape Star Wars in the future, which is exactly what it should be, because that would be fan first.
Well,
then
I mean-
the people get what they want.
But that's
Rather
what I
than,
want
like-
to question. Because they're saying that they look to YouTubers and streamers as focus groups. I don't like that would be nice, but I don't think Disney is listening to us.
No, not
Like,
in the slightest.
No, they're listening to what they want to hear, and then it's just feeding what they already wanted to do, and then they put it out there, and then they realize it's not what the masses have wanted because they've been calling the masses racists and fascists, like this fucking ugly cunt who's fucking this stupid cow wasted $230 million being a nepo baby, paying a wife, paying a gay friend, just on herself, getting all the credits, producer, director, writer, everything fucking rammed in there. And she wants to nickel and dime some fucking Patreon or some ad revenue from people that know more about Star Wars in their little fucking nail than she ever will in her whole fucking lifetime. This is a dumb bitch who got an absolute golden goose, dropped it because she just made a pile of fucking dog shit with her fucking daddy issues and her fucking gay shit. And it was a fucking joke. It was literally watching a joke on the screen that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. And then when it's rejected, because it is a pile of wank, because Disney Star Wars is a pile of wank, you turn around, I can't blame myself. I can't blame any decision I made. I can't blame the story decisions. I can only blame A, the people that fucking hired me because they love to turncoat, or B, the audience who rejected it. But it's the audience that determines whether or not you're a success. It's the audience that determines whether or not a film succeeds, whether or not there's going to be more, because if that loses money or doesn't make money at a theater, you're not going to get a sequel. But with the rise of streaming, we're literally just seeing money burnt, just hundreds and hundreds of millions burnt on content for a streaming service that nobody fucking wants to watch. So yes, there's going to be more cultural relevance to people talking about Star Wars, because those people who are talking about Star Wars, I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking like the major players in Star Wars, the people that really know the lore inside out, your Ryans, your Star Wars theory, people like that, they bring so much more to the table in terms of relevant Star Wars content than anything that Disney will ever put out. That's why YouTube fucking wins. That's why the content creators win.
I think she had no idea how damaged Star Wars was. I think that she believed that Star Wars was at a place where it could not fail. And so going into it, hijacking it, and I think she is shocked at how bad her project failed with the Star Wars branding, because she had no idea how damaged it was by the time she got there.
And when you look at this paragraph here in its full context, what I believe that she's trying to say and trying to push on people, you're right, Jeremy, that the last part of that about it being more culturally relevant is true. But you have to understand why she's saying this, talking about how people make money doing this and it's a business and all these people doing this and a lot of people are snake oil salesmen and opportunists and stuff like this. What she is saying is that because the studio listens to us, we are culturally relevant. And what she's really saying is that the studio listened to them. That's why my show got canceled. Like that's the whole premise of her fucking argument right here. That's what it's about. And so when it's talking about she's taking ownership or she's admitting, she's not. This entire thing is a brain fuck to try to say these things, but make you think that that's why she fucking failed, because we're just grifters and we're opportunists and we're just lying about this as part of the business model. And the very next line, if you scroll down just a touch, Garrett, I think reveals that. That is a proper business model rather than a bunch of mean people. It's a lot more financial than I think people realize. And as somebody that really has supported a lot of these channels financially and with my eyeballs, some of that stuff is probably the only content a younger generation has seen. And that's another disconnect because let's face it, the people on our side of the YouTube sphere right here, it is not some, it's just a bunch of Zoomers watching our content. Do we have some people that are under 25? Sure. Predominantly, it's people between the ages of like 30 and 50. Like those are the people that watch our channel for the most part, most of our channels. So that's not true. Like the young crowd, the ones that don't know what their fucking pronouns are, like they're the fucking freaks that lap up your dog shit, Leslye Headland. Weirdo freak.
The younger generations don't care. They don't care. You missed the generation. You jumped it. You made it completely irrelevant to kids. You don't make good stories that will bring them in. Like that's so ridiculous. Any generation, a 5-year-old is a 5-year-old regardless of generation.
What was that?
Love my inspirational music.
I'm making a good point here.
5-year-olds are 5-year-olds regardless of what generation they're in. If they see a fucking lightsaber fight, they see a sword fight, they see laser blast, they see a cool story of like somebody fighting against an evil Darth Vader, that transcends generations. You fuck that up. Somehow you figured out how to fuck that up, and you did it, Leslye. You did it. They don't care about it, and they're not watching YouTube about Star Wars. They're not watching that shit. They're watching streamers. They're watching iShows, show speed. They're fucking watching people play video games. That's what they're doing because you and other people in Lucasfilm and fucking Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger killed it.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.